Good evening, everyone. Just getting some paints ready here for our first piece. Since it's Friday night, we're gonna do a couple things, a couple different things. All right, how we all doing? You guys have a good week? First full week after all the holidays. How's everybody doing? Good deal. All right, well, tonight we're gonna do a couple different things. We got some sweet stuff we did last night. I don't know if you guys tuned in and saw. All we did was kind of blotted some paint dots on there and just kind of went for it, and it turned out really sweet. So I think we might do that as a second piece tonight. We're gonna do some teals and some purples and maybe a little bit of yellow in there for some sun. So we're gonna avoid the oranges and stuff. So we're gonna do something a little different later. Tonight, the first piece we're gonna use is same size we did last night. It's a 12 by 24. We're gonna do something real fun. I showed you we did a couple branches last night with a butterfly. Tonight we're going to expand that even further, and we're going to do a dragonfly. So something kind of cool. We're going to try that out tonight. So we're going to jump right to it. I hope everybody had a great week. This is going to kick off your weekend. Lots of painting. We got super crappy weather coming, so we're going to be hunkered down and painting our tails off. So we're going to start tonight with something new I have not tried before, which is a dragonfly piece. And we are going to incorporate something I am familiar with, which is some branch work. So we're going to lay out this kind of cool tattoo oriental tree with some blossoms on it, and then we're going to put our dragonfly in there. So hope you guys can hear the music all right and are tuning in. All right, cool. We got 23 folks hanging out with us. We're going to lay down a nice kind of grayish wash background with some blacks and whites and a little dab of red flying through it a little bit, just to give us something to start with. So we're just gonna kind of start out with this here, and we're gonna blend in some whites. We want it to be a little bit darker towards the bottom here. So we'll throw in some black, and then that's about it we're gonna do for the black, and then we're just gonna kind of come in with this white. We want this to not look precise. We are going to get some coverage, but we're going to have some flow to this. It's going to be kind of cool. So we're going to start at the bottom, throwing in some more black just because black kind of covers up to start. This is going to be completely different than what you've seen me do before, which is kind of what we've been doing, just going with it. Cool. Get this all covered here, and then we're gonna play with some swirly stuff. I'm gonna kind of come down with the white on the top, and who knows, this might look better from the other angle too, so we'll just play with it and see what we get. All about having fun, experimenting outside of your box. This is definitely not the peat swirls, the moon glow. We're definitely gonna kind of sweep this down. Long strokes too, guys, so that we're not getting some weird chunky strokes in here. We got some nice kind of a glow, if you will. We're gonna grab some of this red. A little bit of red on a 2-inch brush, what we've been using. I'm gonna kind of throw just a splash of this through here in a couple different spots. It's probably gonna blend. It's not really gonna be a highlight. It's just gonna give us a little bit of dimension. Okay, keep bringing that down all one way. I know I just went backwards and it kind of screwed it up. So stick with the whites and the reds from now on, because we're just going to kind of highlight this just a little bit. You don't want to get too much paint on this, just because it'll start getting real muddy and take forever to dry. So again, we're just kind of throwing in a background here. So this doesn't have to be what I'm doing. You can try something different on your own. You can do like swirls, you can do like big rain droplets and stuff. I've seen you can splatter paint on this, which we might do that. That'd be a cool effect here in a little bit. All right, some more red. I just use some regular crimson red on that. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm gonna do a little bit more white right down the middle of this, just to give our background some movement. We don't want it to be a flat gray. That would be boring. So we're just gonna try a little something different here. Get these all the way down to this corner. It'll almost have a little pink feel to it when we add this little red droplets in here. We're gonna go right to the canvas. All right, we're just gonna kind of throw a couple of these droplets on here. Ooh, I don't want that. It's almost been an old thing of paint there. Got some funkiness to it. All right, got a glob on there. Get that out of there. Cool. All right, almost done with this backdrop. There. Couple more highlights in there. We'll blend that just a little bit more. I got a couple swirls at the bottom end. Cool. What do you guys think? Does that look kind of neat? Can you see that okay? Cool, we got a commercial. I love those.
Go ad-free while you tap into 50 million songs. Start now, free for 30 days.
Yeah,
just
I like that.
Try Amazon
cool. All right, so now we have kind of our backdrop laid out. As far as, I don't know if you guys can see that real well. We'll kind of tip that up for you. This has got some little bit of highlighted red in there. Got some white swirls. It's just going to give us a backdrop that's not super busy, and it's not going to draw the attention away from our main subject, which we're going to get to in a second. Okay.
With over
All right.
500,000 reviews to our name,
let's go ahead.
You always know you're getting a great product at an even greater value with Amazon Basics.
We'll do it like we would do a tattoo, and we're just going to do it in black. Because I kind of want this to have that feel to it. So we're going to start off on this side. Just kind of work this thing up this way. It's going to be a kind of a wide, gnarly thing at the bottom here. This branch is going to come off of here because we need something to be able to put our Dragonfly on. So that's going to be our focal point branch there. Cool. And then we get this one going up here. Nice. All right, so now we're just going to kind of have that framed in. Now we're just going to backfill. Again, we do have a lot of paint on the canvas right now, so this is going to take a bit to blend this. I'm going to use kind of a twisty technique. I don't want this to be long stroked. I want this to kind of have this feel like it's one of those rubber trees. It's kind of all twisted and gnarly. So we're going to actually give this tree a little bit of fun texture just in filling it in. And again, it's kind of picking up some of those grays and the highlights from the underside, which is another reason why you want to use a color in your backdrop, just to give you something to blend with as you go through the process. So you just don't have a white canvas and you're throwing a black tree on it. Boring! Definitely want to have something to it. All right, cool. So as we're doing this right now, we're adding some texture to it, and it doesn't look like just a stagnant tree. And remember, to kind of all do these the same way, unless you're going to twist it and turn it a little bit. I think we're going to pull this off a little bit wider. And let's add some branches down here. So we want the eye to kind of flow through this and not be too busy. So how was your week, guys? Was it good? I hope so. It's payday for a lot of folks. Yeah, we love that. All right. So again, we're just gonna kind of throw some of this color in here. Again, we're gonna end up highlighting this with some of that pink and that red as we come through here. We're gonna actually act like the light source is kind of here, beaming down, and we'll kind of highlight that here in a little bit. Cool. I love this. I love this brush. It's nice and long and thin, and you can spin it, like I've talked about before, as you go through the branch, and it cuts through that underlying gray a lot better that way. Just a tidbit, because you do have paint on all the sides of it, so you want to kind of gather that paint and let it flow through. Neat. Cool. Alright, we're not going to get too crazy with those branches just yet, because we're going to end up putting some blossoms and stuff in these, and we want to kind of get a layout of where we're at with those. So cool. All right, so we're almost done getting this tree laid out. I'm gonna kind of go in here with just one big kind of backside helper there. See, we tried to grab we grabbed a lot of gray on that one side, trying to get go back into it, and it really just kind of picked up that gray. Not what we wanted to do. Okay, almost there, guys. Cool. All right, I like it. This looks a little straight, so we want to kind of put a crook in there. Give it some character. Again, we were given this as kind of this swirly little jobby all the way down here. It's kind of the texture we're gonna have. So now we got some angles to this. It looks kind of cool. Let's finish this top piece out before it kind of gets all dried up. Make sure you got enough paint on there. Cool. All right, I like it. So now we're gonna have our dragonfly here. This will be our spot for that. Came out a little thick, so I want to kind of come back in and do that one again. There we go. I like it. All right, cool. So we got this kind of gnarly, twisted, branchy tree, and it's kind of coming up from the bottom here. Let's go ahead and get some highlights in here. So I'm going to get a little bit more red. What we got here? I'm going to use red and white to do this, since we are going to have some red and white, which will end up being kind of pinkish looking little blossoms in this. Cool. We're getting some highlights in there. Again, we're going to kind of come in with this a couple different times so that it breaks it up. It doesn't look all like it's one giant streaky white highlight, because nothing really looks like that anyways. we got the music thing figured out finally, huh? Okay, it's a little helpful there. Cool. Alright, so this highlight's a little bit bright, so we're just going to kind of come in there and throw some of that with some black over top of that. I'm going to move that around. And make sure to kind of twist off your brush so you don't have any white on there and put it in the wrong spot. So what we're trying to do now is just kind of come over it with black and some red. Throw some red in there. Give it some color. Cool. Alright, cool. So we got this branch kind of laid out here. Nice, some highlights on there. Alright, now we get to try out the Dragonfly. Alright, now this is my first attempt at this. I did not try this at all on a piece of paper, on a piece of cardboard, nothing. So, this is my first attempt. You guys get to see it live. I love that. Alright, so we're going to have kind of this Dragonfly kind of twisted here, and we'll lay her out. Alright, so we got, let's see how we want to do this. Do a sideways Dragonfly with its wings out like this, or I'm just going to kind of go. Lay this guy out here. So a lot of Dragonflies you'll see are pretty flat, so you know you can see their backs. I'm going to try something a little different, because I can. Because I want to be different. Cool. Alright, so we got the body going there, and now we're going to do so we can remember what lines we got here. We're gonna just kind of fill these in just a little bit with some white, just a little bit, so they're almost ghost-like and wispy. We have just a little bit of white on the brush here, so we're just gonna we're gonna come over with some color too in a second. So I'm not super concerned about these lines. We might redo these anyways. They got a little bit big on this one side, so. Alright, that kind of evens it out a little bit. Alright. So going to come in with a little bit of teal here. Kind of, those dragonflies are really iridescent and they got some cool colors going on. So we're just going to kind of use this as almost a wash, like a watercolor. And again, the tip of this brush is so small that it doesn't carry much paint, so we're having to kind of come in a couple different times with it. Alright, cool. I like it. So kind of what we're doing is highlighting with this this turquoise or teal the top of their wings, just to kind of give it a little bit of an outline. I figure this line's going to be right in here. So, I don't know how well this guy's going to fly with these wings, but hey, we're getting him on there. I would say probably a little bit more color towards the base down here and fade it out as we go. Give that the idea that it's a little more transparent as it goes out, so it's a little thicker, you can't see through it towards the body, and then it's a little more transparent as you get closer to the ends. We'll go with that. I gotta imagine that's a little bit of logic to that, right? Almost done with this little guy. We're gonna put some little tentacles on him too, and then we're gonna do some cherry blossoms. Really make this look more like an oriental blossom tree. Okay, let's not forget these ends here. So you're right up to that, and it almost got a little bit of ghosty white on the ends of these, so cool. All right, so now we need some big eyes on that little dude. Throw just a little bit of dark teal into this body, just a little bit. We give him a little something. I'm gonna hit that with just a little bit. We do with our metallic purple from last night. Oh, there it is. Cool. So we're gonna give this guy a little bit of, just a couple hints of metallic purple. And I think that will We'll add a little bit of dimension to these wings, not make them look so flat. Also make them a little prettier. It's nature, folks. There's all sorts of beauty all around you. You just gotta open your eyes and look at it. Go out and take a walk in the woods and take your camera with you. Take some pictures, and you'll be surprised at what stuff looks like later. You know, some gnarly trees and toadstools and little weird bugs and stuff. Cool. I like it. What do you guys think? Is it okay? Am I doing all right? All right, perfect. So there's our dragonfly, our little purple and teal buddy hanging out there with his little white ghosty wings. Now we're gonna have a little fun making some cherry blossoms here. All right, so we're gonna mix up some white. If you guys can see this. We're gonna mix up some white and some red, and we're just gonna have both of these kind of on standby because we're gonna do some different little blossoms over here. So let's see how we do. So using the same brush that we've mixed up the paint with allows us to get a little bit more red in some spots and a little bit more white, and we can just kind of have fun with it. And once you lay that base layer of pink down, you can kind of come in with some reds and whites for highlights and lowlights. We really want these to be kind of subtle. We don't want them to really take away from our main buddy up there, our purple and blue guy. Okay, cool. Alright, we're gonna throw a little more red in here and make sure it's filled in. Throw some whites. You're going to do reds and whites. You're going to want to probably put the whites on one side as a highlight on the same side as you go all the way around this, and then, you know, your reds kind of behind it. Cool. Alright, so we got a little blossom there. Next one up. Let's do like a little halfy over here. So this kind of speaks to me because I have most of my tattoos, as you can see, are black and gray, and they do have a little hint of color, so this is just kind of very traditional when you're looking at kind of a black and gray tattoo with just a little bit hint of color. It just kind of pops. Alright, so we're just adding a little half job in this guy here. Just little highlights on that. We'll throw some red in on this one. Cool. I like it. What do you guys think? It's starting to pop? Get some color going? Alright, cool. Let's add one back here. This one's going to be a little darker because it is on the back side of the tree. So, or back side of the branch, if you will. dab of black in there too, and we're just going to kind of use more red than white on this one. And it's really personal preference on these little pinks and stuff. You know, what colors you want to use. And how big they're going to be, and how many branches or how many petals you want, and it's just going to be kind of up to you. Cool. So I'm going to just dab just a hint of black and throw this in here just to give us a little darkerness to this one. Since it is kind of on the back side, we got the highlight on this side. These are going to be a little brighter. Cool, let's throw one more little branch on this, or a little. Cool, I like that one. Cool, I like it. So you got some different ones going on there. And this is just kind of some fun stuff to play with here. We'll get one more up top here. We'll add a little something up here. Cool, I like this. This is so different than what we've been doing. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time and you're seeing this, we've not done petals, we've not done dragonflies, not really even done this background that you're seeing, where we just kind of blended some black and white, made it gray, and kind of went for it that way, and added a little highlight color to it, that red that kind of popped through, this kind of pink. Now it's got a little more prominent now because we have this pink that we're throwing in here. It looks a little more, visible because we got some pinks that are drawing some of that eye color from the background now. Okay, now are we ready for some really cool effect we're going to do to this? You ready for that? Oh, the crowd says yes. Yes, Pete, we are ready for that. Let's do it. Almost there. Just kind of pinking this up a little bit. Hope everybody's driving safe this weekend. It's supposed to be really junky. Most of the country's going to get some funky weather, so. Just throwing a little bit of black on the spines on this one here. Too, so it's not so flat. Cool. All right, now we got this nice flat little speckle thing here. We are going to do, bear with me here, something super fun. We are taking our palette knife here, and we're also taking a fan brush, which we talked about before, and we're going to whip up this white. It's almost got some pink red flare to it, right? All right, now we're going to put this onto the palette knife, okay? And we're going to literally just run this brush across the edge of the palette knife, and it's going to create some splatter. And we're going to add some cool texture to this. This just kind of gives it a little bit different of a feel. It's not so flat. It's actually going to have some dimension to it. We're not going to really go up too far with that. We're going to really fill this dead area in down here. Hit it with some different angles so it's got a different feel to it. Now, this is all just practice. I'm going to wipe that off. Add some of this red. Probably easier if you use a little bit more of a liquidy red. I'll pull some of this off. So some of the cheaper reds, there we go. We'll add, be a little bit easier to do. Cool. I have done a piece a little bit similar to this where I've done this technique and it made it look like fiery embers in the woods. Kind of just a little different splatter technique, adding some texture and color. You guys can kind of play with it however you want and do it. You don't even have to do it. If you liked it before, that's great. If not, it's different. It's totally different. We're just kind of having fun with it. And we're experimenting, so cool. I like that. It's got this neat vibe to it. We want a little bit more white, so I'm going to grab a different buddy here. There we go. All white here. Cool. I like it. A little bit of splatter. Oh, wow. What do you think, guys? How cool is that? We got 20 people tuning in and they just witnessed some sweet splatter action. I'm going to hold this up for you guys after I put a signature on it. So let's go ahead and get that in there. This one is done. Cool. All right, well, what do you think, guys? So now, this has definitely got, hold this back for you, hold on 1 second. Bear with me. So we could turn this way. You know, we could actually do it this way. However we want to look at this. I like it vertical like this. It's kind of how we had it laid out. But it's completely up to you guys. Sorry, there's so much glare on that. But there's our little buddy there. If you can see a close-up on him, it's kind of cool. He's got some purples and some teals in there, and then we added all this cool, sweet texture to all this. It just made it really just kind of a neat feature. I think it's super cool. I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll be right back with a second piece that we're gonna do. We're gonna do kind of a tropical highlighted palm tree season, but we're gonna use blues instead of the orange sunset. So stick around, I will be right back. All right, take care, guys.